Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and best wishes to all of us. We are grateful for the help and health opportunity that God have given us so that we can gather in this seminar. On this occasion, I will deliver the presentation material for the title, The Influence of Work Life or QL Quality, Work Discipline and Work Motivation on Employee Performance in Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb District. This is my paper, the presentation. The influence of work life or QL quality, work discipline, and work motivation on employee performance in the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb District. Background of the problem: in the current era of globalization, job competition plays an important role in an organization. Various ways are used by organizations to create competitive advance. One of the most important aspects in creating competitive advance is by increasing the quality of human resources. The main problem in human resource management is how to build a productive culture within the company so that it will improve organizational performance. The aspect of human resource is an important aspect in an organization and bureaucracy at this time. And so, from some of the background explanations about quality of life, work discipline, and work motivation are the main ingredients of research in organization engaged in the public service, namely the Department of Population and Civil Registry of Sumeneb Regency, in this case, the performance of civil servant in the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. And so the existing problems is in Sumeneb Regency. So the formulation of the problem, and one is is there an effect of quality work of life on performance? And second two, is there an effect of work discipline of performance? And the third, is there an effect of work motivation on performance? So, and then of population and sample from my paper, the population in this study are employees who work at the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. And so the sampling techniques use statutory samples where all members of the population are sampled. The sample in this study were 80 employees at the Population Service of Sumeneb Regency Civil Registration. And so frame of mind, quality work of life, work discipline, work motivation, and so the performance. And then analysis technique. Researching using regression analysis technique is a statistical technique that is useful for examining and modeling the relationship between variables. MRI is often used to solve regression analysis problems that result in the relationship of two or more independent variables. Before using this analysis, first use the validate test, reliability, the coefficients of determinants, and the classical assumption test. And the result, the influence of the variable quality of life or the quality of work life on performance. And then the results indicate that the higher the quality of work life that exists in the employees of the Office of Population and Civil Registration Sumeneb Regency, and the more it will improve the performance of an employee in the service. So that if the lower the quality of work life of the service employee will reduce the performance of this employee's performance on employee is very much determined. And employees' performance on employees is very much determined by how to always improve the quality of life of the apps which is carried out at the Department of Population and Civil Registration and Sumeneb Regency. And so, added to the work discipline of employees in the office has a positive effect on employee performance, so that this result can be concluded that the work discipline that has become a culture or routine in the employees of the Population and Civil Registration Office in Sumeneb Regency. And so that can improve the performance of individual staff in this office. So that if there is a decrease in discipline in this employees, it will greatly affect the performance decline of the employee. So, staff at the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. Based on observation made by research, the level of participant indicated by attendance at the Sumeneb Regency Population and Civil Registration Service is in accordance with the existing procedure in the office. And so the result of several data tests that have been carried out to determine of the effect of work motivation on employee performance at the Office of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. So it's now beforehand from data analysis that the work motivation of employees in this office has a significant effect on employee performance. So it can be concluded that the work motivation posed by employees at the service can increase the performance of individual employees in the service. So that if there is work motivation on these employees, it will affect the decline in the performance of an employee at Bisduk Chapel, Sumeneb District. Conclusion. The conclusion from my paper is the quality of work life can contribute significantly to employee performance with several important indicators such as development, participants, and a very supportive work environment, which has become a routine and culture in the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. And then the conclusion from the results show that MRI, that work discipline variable, have a significant effect on employee performance with certain criteria such as attendance level, adherence to work standards, vigilance, and ethical behavior among employees, contributing to employee performance improvement. And so the show that work motivation has a significant effect on employee performance with certain criteria or indicators that have been studied with the result of work motivation having an impact on improving employee performance in the Office of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency. And the suggestion from the research my paper, and one, the Office of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency to be able to provide an increase in the culture of the quality of work life with some creative and innovation solutions. For example, with a work culture accompanied by several alternatives that are not boring. And the second, the Department of Population and Civil Registration of Sumeneb Regency in improving the ability and understanding of increasing work discipline or motivation in a good performance process, namely by using several methods that are not boring, namely by increasing compensation, incentive, and reward or a conducive work environment. Maybe this is about my paper presentation. Thank you and you are welcome. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.